Good evening and welcome to a brand new season of On the Couch. I am Jabril Garlick.
And I'm Olivia Fasano. To start off our show today, we're here with Abby Gill and Nicole Schwartz and Bill Kirkpatrick, members of the College Diabetes Network. How are you guys today?
We're good. How about you?
Good.
Fine, thank you. You want to start a question?
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
Okay. So to start off, could you kind of give me a little synopsis, background on what diabetes is, type 1, type 2?
Sure. So right now we're all type 1 diabetics. Our club is made up of mostly type 1 diabetics. It used to be called juvenile diabetes because it was mostly in people that were younger that were diagnosed, and now it's kind of insulin dependent, so we always have to be on insulin. We can't kind of rectify our diabetes with like exercise or dieting, which is something that someone with type 2 diabetes can do.
And insulin is produced in the pancreas, so basically our pancreases don't produce insulin. Insulin is when you eat, it kind of like gets all the good nutrients out of the food. So with the synthetic insulin we use, we're able to like process all the nutrients and control our blood sugar that way.
Can you guys explain when did you guys start this whole club and?
Sure. So we actually started last year. I was a freshman last year at Rowan. I kind of walked into a meeting that I thought was already established club. I thought the College Diabetes network was already a thing. However, when I went in, it was John, who's now our advisor, and Scott Woodside, who's also the co-advisor. And they were like, well, do you want to start it? So I said, sure. And so now, we've kind of been through it for a year now, and we've gained a lot of new members. We kind of all just bumped into each other one way or another, or I met her at a SGA meeting last year. She came up to me after we presented, and another girl in our club, we just saw her pump and stuff like that. So we kind of all came together that way.
So how do you, within your club, or my bad, maybe I should say, do you feel that there is as much awareness as there should be covering the subject of diabetes within the news and media and maybe celebrities like Nick Jonas? I know he's been an advocate for type 1 diabetes for quite some time now. Do you?
Yeah, I never knew what type 1 diabetes was before I was diagnosed, and I feel I don't know if I can speak for everyone, but Nick Jonas was in my childhood and stuff like that, and we saw him, we saw him on the TV and stuff, and he definitely advocated for it, like you said. Brett Michaels, I know there's a professional hockey player that I'm blanking on the name, but I don't think it's talked about in the news too often. No. I don't hear about it enough for it to be something that everyone is aware of. So
there's never too little advocacy. There's always more we can do to advocate, because people will make diabetes jokes, or people will just assume things and not really be educated on the topic.
Yeah.
Totally understand that.
And I think a lot of it goes to really just the significance and the difference between being a type 1 diabetic and a type 2 diabetic, because both are hard to deal with, and both are different, but they're very correct. They're very different diseases to deal with. Yeah, so that's kind of where I think the push for advocacy for type 1 is very important.
So what are your guys goals for your club and everything?
Really, I mean, as the president, I always want my goal just to be to make sure that everyone on campus kind of has a place to come and to feel comfortable. We don't judge people. We all are pretty honest about the things that we would maybe be scared to tell someone that we would think would judge us, I think. So I just wanted to be a place where everyone can come together, feel comfortable, and even if you don't come to our meetings every week, it's super important that you're on our email list, because if you run out of supplies, hopefully, and we're here for you because we know you're at college and it's far away from home. Yeah. So kind of that.
Yeah, I know for me it's been a really big support system, because it's hard to feel alone with the entire thing, kind of feel you can't relate to anyone. It's nice to just sit down for an hour every other week and just rant and talk about things you can't really talk to other people about.
We all need that.
Yeah.
All need someone to turn to.
Yeah, definitely.
You had mentioned a few seconds ago, if someone is running low on supplies or something like that, you're able to get in contact with someone that can get that for them, or you can
like
lead them to
I
somebody?
remember like last semester, one of the members of the club like ran out of insulin, and like someone was able to bring him a vial of insulin until like he got his new order in.
Yeah.
So like supplies like needles, like blood sugar testing strips, like insulin, like we all need to like survive pretty much on a daily basis.
So we're in that sense. I mean, you guys can come, like they can come to us more versus like an outside source at the school. So that's why it's important.
Yeah.
And within your club, you spread awareness how?
We kind of, I mean, I think we were just making like small presents like now, like being on the show or doing a student panel, just small presents like that makes awareness and will build up one day, hopefully, to make a bigger awareness.
Did your fundraiser last week too?
Yeah, we did our fundraiser for JDRF. We did a bake
Okay.
sale, things like that. That all builds up and it makes it feel.
And with the JDRF, it was Juvenile
Juvenile Diabetes
Diabetes
Research Foundation. Yep. So that's like obviously like a huge thing. It's all over the country, walks and stuff like that. But a few of us participated, and we had like our family members and stuff donate money, and we raised like $700, a little over. So
amazing.
yeah,
that's good.
it was a good feeling.
It was kind of like amazing, like when we were walking, like you see like a crowd of people that like, it's cool that like all of those people like have some sort of connection to like
diabetes. Yeah.
So to end this little segment, when are your meetings? When do you meet?
We meet on the second and fourth Tuesday of every month at 8 p.m. in Savitz Hall.
Okay. So coming up after the break, we've got members from the cinema club, cinema workshops, so stay with us. So welcome back, and we just heard from a few members of the College Diabetes Network, and now we are joined by Sai Guram from the cinema workshop.
How are you, Sai?
I'm fine, Olivia. How are you?
I'm good. So can you tell us a little?
Sorry about that.
Can you tell us a little bit about the cinema workshop and what you guys do?
So, Cinema Workshop, we're the film club on campus. We make, talk about movies. Movies are the way to go, and yeah, pretty much that's what we do. We just teach each other and like learn different things from each other. Yeah.
Do you have any certain recent projects that stand out?
We just finished our first shoot of the year.
Okay.
A summer script that was picked on a contest. So we just finished that shoot this weekend, and that went really well. A lot of new members got to play with some of our new equipment, so it was great. It was a great experience. We're about to start another fest that we do every year called the 1 Minutes, where we just make movies with that dialogue, and they're just 1 minute. So those are about to kickstart soon. Yeah, and we got a lot of projects in pipeline, so it should be an exciting year in those sense.
Yeah, you mentioned about the 1 Minute Fest, but do you guys have another fest maybe in like the spring semester people should know about, or
Surprise.
surprise?
Surprise, can't talk about it yet.
Okay. Well, what do you find yourself working on mostly or mainly? Is it like camera work, or lighting, set design?
I honestly do everything. I've done camera, I've done lighting, I've been talent, I wrote. I don't think it's like one thing I stick around with, because that's the thing about Cinema Workshop. We don't want you to stick around in one place. We want you to like get a
Try
feel of
everything,
everything, so
yeah, totally
you know where you want to
understand.
go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys have like workshops that where you teach everybody? I mean, like all your members, like the different positions and stuff like that?
We actually do have a workshop every Friday with like an e-board member teaching different things. I know previous years it just used to be about teaching like the on-set roles, but this year we took a different change and we thought we were going to teach like the whole process of movie in general. So we are interested in teaching post-production roles and like pre-production roles. I know recently we just did like the first time ever workshop, at least in my time, a Photoshop workshop to teach people like, if it can be useful in creating movie posters or any other designs. So yeah, we do workshops every Friday, and we do one-on-ones with members to like get them a feel of what it's like.
So I understand this is very closely related to your major, but would you say that this is more of
I'm actually not an
no?
RTF major.
Oh, my
No?
bad.
No, that's the best thing about Cinema Workshop.
Okay.
Like, you don't have to be an
Yeah, you
RTF
don't
major
have
to be.
to.
Yeah, like I'm a marketing and an advertising major myself, so.
Really?
wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm a different
Wow.
school, but yeah, that's
No,
the
that's
best thing about
cool.
CW. Like,
Yeah.
not everyone's an RTF major. There's people who love film and want
Yeah.
to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it when there's people you think something about them and then you
Yeah.
learn it's not true. I like that. So you would consider this more of a passion, hobby?
It's a passion for me. Like my goal was to get into film, but I realized I like promoting the film more. I also like making it, but promoting is just, it's fun, man. Like there's so much to it. But yeah, so even that's also my job in CW. I'm the promotions manager, so I promote the club. That's my job. So yeah, it's a great experience time, and I learn a lot on the job.
What do you do to kind of get it out there about the club and maybe your own work?
I know, of course, we have social media. That's a thing everything club has, like Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, a Facebook page.
Real quick.
Yeah, our Snapchat is Rowan cinema _workshop. Our Instagram is Rowan Cinema Workshop. Our Facebook is Rowan University Cinema Workshop. It's pretty much those.
How to plug yourself.
Yeah. You know.
But in terms of my job, I pretty much like put around flyers around the campus, and I talk to like anyone if you have like at club fairs or like other places where we have to go represent. I talk about the club and like tell what we are about. And I know I put up the bulletin board recently in Boz, and that's an artwork I'm proud of. Yeah,
nice.
like I love it personally. I don't know if you guys noticed. There's like posters up top with like each e-board member has their own movie poster.
That's awesome.
That's like my crown jewel right there. Like I think I peaked myself in the job already.
Yeah, that's it.
That's I'm done. Like
perfect.
CW, I'm done, man.
So could you tell us what like your future goals are for Cinema Workshop?
Future goals, definitely make the club bigger, get more people involved, bring more people in, and like don't leave out like anyone with a passion for film. Like if you like film, just come through, man. Like let's have fun, let's make movies, talk about them, honestly.
Yeah. Could you kind of, in a way, give me a little testimony on like what the club has done for you, personally or professionally? Or?
Oh my God, that's like a big story I have to go into. But
Go
put it
ahead.
in one word,
Yeah,
it's honestly like my second family to me.
Okay.
Really?
Like we all just like spend time on shoots or outside of shoots. It's just we all get along so well despite like the contrasting personalities because of our love for film. Like
But
that
kind of brings you
that just like
Brings
brings
it
us
all
all
together.
together. And
So you have more to
I can
talk
say
about.
like I've met like some of the best people in my life and who I can like look back to today and say that like I'm happy that I met that person. So CW's like definitely had a change in that level for me.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. So you would say that the club works with, would it work with like your major? Like, because you're going back and forth, like you want to promote movies?
It does work with it because like I've found that out recently too, because like movie marketing is a growing job because we live in a digital world today, so we have almost interaction with everything. It's easy to find out everything. So when you put your movie out there, it's important that you promote it, spread word about it, get everyone talking about it.
Yeah.
So movie marketing like plays a crucial role. Like I took a class this summer about that, and it said that like if 50% of the movie is making in the pre-production, the other 50% of it is just selling it, getting the word out there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I feel like my major mashing with like the film experience definitely adds a lot and is helpful for me.
Great.
So do you plan to work in the entertainment industry using this
Oh yeah, definitely.
major that you
Definitely.
have
Like
now?
my end goal is to like definitely work for a big studio in like their marketing division. Like personally, I want to work for DC comic movies. Like
Love
that's where I want to
Yeah.
be. But yeah.
I'm like Marvel all the way. X-Men. Oh my God.
I'm a fan of both,
No,
honestly.
it's okay, yeah. I mean, I do probably like both. I'm actually not sure what is specific to DC, but... You know,
DC
I'll take it.
DC just has a bigger brand value, man, if you ask me. Because if you look back at it, I mean, Marvel, they had that, like their Spider-Man cartoons here and there, but I just remember like looking back, like Justice League, The Amazing Friends, Teen Titans, or Static Shock. I feel like they've had a bigger impact on us, so I feel like that makes them the bigger brand. But yeah.
So could you just tell everyone when Cinema Workshop meets?
We meet every Thursday, 9:30 in the King's Auditorium, the big auditorium here, room 1112, in other words. And that's when we meet, Thursdays.
All right, thanks, Sai.
Thank you for having me, guys.
So, oh, go ahead.
Thanks for joining us. Coming up after the break, we got Victoria Todorova and Danny Minchell with this week's Word on the Street. Don't go away.
What's good, everybody? Remember me, it's Dan. I'm back for another season of Man on the Street, except this time I'm with my new co-host, Victoria.
And I'm Victoria, and this is
Word on the Street. We're gonna go to these freshman halls and see how people make friends. Who are you? Whoa, you guys freshmen make friends this year? Yeah. Awesome. So we're here trying to figure out how freshmen make friends. I know it can be weird sometimes, right? In scenarios like this, probably.
So this is my friend, and he's gonna tell us how we make friends.
Through clubs and through your classes. You can make a lot of friends through your major.
I don't know. So you should join RTN. We make a lot of good friends there. It's our club, so we'll see you there.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Just go up to someone, say hi, and laugh. Is it okay with you?
You heard it here first. Hello, you guys are together. You're clearly friends. How did you guys meet on campus this year? Or last year? Or the year before?
I met him like in the back rec center.
Okay. So one way to make friends is to write little messages on people's doors.
So what is your tip on making friends this semester?
Just go out and go talk to people around campus on my bed.
Hello there, friend.
He's your friend.
You could even make friends in the bathroom.
Work.
You even know him? What's his name?
Here.
So they're friends.
They're friends.
We're friends. We're all friends
We're all
now.
friends, having a good old time at
Yeah.
Rowan University.
How do I make friends?
Yeah.
Joining, different activities, clubs, and little sports and stuff. Eating with people. Food is a great way.
Yes.
Food is a great way to
So do you
make
guys want to
friends.
go out to lunch like now?
Oh yeah, I would love.
Hello.
Shake hands.
Hello.
Now we're friends.
Hello. We heard you guys singing and thought we could join. We have a drummer. We have another singer. We've got MTV Live going
Let me see. You guys are listening to us sing? Sorry.
in the rain.
Hey, can we be friends? Can we be friends?
There are many ways to make friends, especially on a college campus. Like,
Absolutely.
I'm making friends right now, being in this show. Radio, my bad, wrong word. Rowan Television Network. You can make a lot of friends in that group.
You can make friends honestly anywhere in college. You
Right.
want to go to a club, a party,
Cafeteria.
Cafeteria. Walk up to somebody in the cafeteria and just
Yeah.
introduce yourself.
It's okay.
You can, we allow it.
Yeah. So, moving on to our Hot Topics segment of the show. Justin Timberlake has announced that he will be performing the Super Bowl 2018 halftime show. And he announced that on Twitter with a clip of one of him and his best friends, Jimmy Fallon. They were doing a skit together that started off with the phrase, "Do you have the time?" But they said it in jokey British accents, and that kind of turned into, "You're doing the halftime show." So yeah, it was quite interesting.
So excited for him to do the
Happened last
halftime
night.
show.
I've been waiting for an album, Justin, for
Right.
a couple years now, but
I'm so excited. He's been one of my favorite performers and
I
like
love it. Yeah.
songwriters.
He's so
everybody, I love him. So I'm so excited for him to do the halftime show.
Yes. Transition.
So the next hot topic that we have is that season 2 of Stranger Things is coming to Netflix on Friday.
I've actually never seen that show, but it does look interesting. I don't know.
It's
I don't.
in my opinion, it's one of the most well-made shows. It's written so well because it's a show that takes place in, I don't want to get the year wrong. I want to say 1970s or 1980s.
Circa that era.
Yeah, that era, and it's sometimes
Maybe
it's hard.
83, I think.
Something
maybe,
about
something
that.
like that.
But it's written in like that sort of time. So sometimes it could be weird, like transitioning into 2017. But I mean, it's such a well-made show, and I'm really excited for the storyline.
Makes a lot of sense. Does sound kind of interesting. Maybe I'll check it out. Also, in other news, John Stamos, or Uncle Jesse, as many people know him from Full House, he was recently engaged, I want to say it was yesterday, to Caitlin McHugh, actress from The Vampire Diaries, and they were engaged in Disneyland. He had set up a video of different romantic scenes from old Disney movies, and
I didn't know that. That's so cute.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
And at the end, he had Sebastian from The Little Mermaid, that song, Ask the Girl.
Oh,
The end,
okay.
so then he asked her, and yeah, he did it in Disneyland because that's one of his favorite places.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was interesting. Shows that you can find love at any age, any age.
But it reminds me of that scene from Full House where the whole family goes on a trip to Disneyland, and Uncle Jesse, John Stamos, is playing the piano in front of the Magic Kingdom, and he's playing a song for Aunt Becky.
Yeah.
So, so cute. And she's what, 31?
31.
And
yes.
he's 54.
Yeah, I mean,
You know what?
any age.
Age is but a number.
Yeah, that's right. But also, she acted in a movie that he produced recently, I think.
Really?
Yeah, that was like their first thing, or I can't say first thing because I don't know what they've done really, but that was the first public thing that they did together, and apparently that turned out quite well. I'm not sure what the name of it was right now, but you can close this in.
That's awesome. Okay, so that's it for Hot Topics. Thank you guys for viewing our first episode this season for On the Couch. I'm Olivia Fasano.
And I am Jabril Garlic.
And we'll see you next week.
More to come.